Today, I want to talk about, um, and this is called a nurse's thought. I've been nursing for a long time, and I have three daughters. And being a nurse, I don't know if you have this problem that I have. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between when you need to be a nurse and when you need to be a dad. I have a daughter, and she had some medical issues, and she had to go see a specialist. So she couldn't see him for 3 days, and she was having a lot of pain and discomfort. And understanding what she had and who she had to see, I knew that if she went to the ED, that they could not fix her at that moment. They could help her, but she needed to see her specialist. So that being said, I found out how that my daughter has high anxiety. I didn't quite know how high until all this started going on. So the more we got into it, the more I saw her level of anxiety. And at times, I think I was more in a nursing mode than a dad mode because I was trying to get her to understand that, you know, she wanted to be fixed right now, and in the ED, that's not really the job of the ED. The ED is to triage you, patch you up, and get you where you need to go. Unless they can fix you, then they do, but that's not the primary job of the ED. ED is to make you better so you can go see a cardiologist or a pulmonologist to help fix what's going on with you. That being said, I ended up taking my daughter to the ED several times. She didn't understand that. And after a while, I think on the third day, I actually sat down and talked to her. And a lot of things that she said kind of struck me. She was afraid of a lot of things. And she asked me about being afraid. And as a nurse, people think have the impression that we have no emotion, we don't feel pain, we don't hurt. That's not true. And we don't have anxiety. Oh, we have anxiety. You may not see it, but we have it. And I explained to her in my job as a rapid response nurse, anxiety is like every day. Um, I am not the best nurse there is. I'm a very good nurse, but I am not the best nurse. But I do my best. As a rapid response nurse, when the rapid response is called, your job is to go in the room and assess the patient and lead them to the proper decision as the care of that patient. Now, when you walk into that room, if it's a few nurses, all of them are looking at you, and your stress level goes from here to here. And I'm not saying other nurses don't have the same stress. I'm just talking about my job. So you need to evaluate this patient quickly, assess, see if there's something that can be done for that patient that we can do that can uh, rectify the situation, or if that patient needs to go to the ICU. Every decision that you make, people are listening to and judging whether you're making the right decision. We don't always make the right decision, but we do know who to call and if we need help to make a decision. But as stress, yeah, it's stressful. And I kind of had to look at it from her side as far as being stressed, but and understanding more that I need to be more of a dad than a nurse. So um, it's just it's hard to play both roles sometimes and understand which role you need to be in. But after that, I played more of a dad role than a nurse role. Um, it's just hard to be a nurse sometimes. You have to, sometimes you, even when you leave home, you're still a nurse. You're still in that mentality. And sometimes with family, you need to step back and be more of a parent than a nurse, which is sometimes difficult to do. We all have anxieties. Um, None of us walk away without thinking if we've done everything we can for our patients, if there's something else we could have done. Um, I had a situation when a nurse that took care of a patient, and the patient died, and they were very upset. But this nurse had done everything possible to save this patient's life. And everyone in the room knew it, and we knew it, and hopefully she knew it. She did a very good job. It still doesn't take away the pain that your patient died, and maybe the thought in the back of your mind that you may have missed something that could have saved this patient's life. So, um, as nurses, we have to find a way of dealing with our stress and accepting that we are not perfect and that we will falter and fail. But that's because we're human. We can only do the best that we can do. So I'm saying saying that to say this. Um, we are nurses. We are always nurses, but sometimes, especially when it comes to family, sometimes you need to step back and be that mother or father or parent. We can't always be nurses. One of the other things we discussed was about death and dying. She was afraid of dying, which I had to explain to her that most people are afraid of dying. Um, there always comes a point in our lives that we look back on our lives and see how much time we spent and how much time we think we have left and evaluate how we lived. I explained to her that there's nothing wrong with looking at your life, but if you spend most of your time worrying about dying, you don't live. Um, you have to live your life like every day is your last life and last day, or you come to the end. Um, I have been blessed to have more than I ever thought I would have. I've been places, I've been around the world at least once. I've been to Japan, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Cambodia, thanks to my daughter. Something I never dreamed in a million years I'd ever do. I have 3 wonderful kids, a wife, and coming from an old fat kid that really thought he'd do anything, I, I did pretty damn good. So I tried to explain to her, you need to live. Let death take care of itself. Do what you want to do. Do everything you think you want to do. So if by chance death does come, you have no regrets, or have um, smaller regrets, because we all have regrets. There's no person that lived that doesn't have a regret of something, but that you need to decrease the number of regrets you have by doing everything that you want to do for the end. So I don't know. I I don't know. That's my little vent for today. I call this a nurse's thought. Hope it helps some. If not, just my way of vent. Stay safe.